There, welcome back to today's video, the first video from our unboxing with BB-Craft. We're going to use beautiful Arteza micas. We're going to use some of these gorgeous glitters and twinkle tints from Jules at Resin Jules and Helen at Resin Detra Supplies. Look, in the background there, can you see this gorgeous molds? These molds were from BB-Craft. We're also going to use these dry bristle paintbrushes. Molds are from BB-Craft. Now, here you're going to see me. I've just taken one of the twinkle tints, and this, by the way, this has been sped up this bit because this took me a while. And I'm just dipping the dry brush into the little tub of the twinkle tint. It's like a greenish, a very pale greenish white colour. Now, it's not coming up very well, and you probably can't see it very well on camera either, but I'm trying to put it on so it's sort of almost like burnishing it on, so really brushing it well onto the mould to see if it'll give enough detail just to those edges. And can you see that in the fin on the back of the seahorse there? It's just highlighting it a bit. Now, with hindsight, I should have chosen a darker colour. Definitely should have chosen a darkened colour for this because it doesn't come out very clear. But we do something else at the end of this project and it looks really good. And that's all I'm going to say. So here I am frantically working away, just applying this mica powder to the mould. The mould is gorgeous. Now, it's not a very deep mould at all. I think each one of these took about 140 mils of resin. So, as I said, not very deep, but they are beautiful. And they are the biggest seahorse mould that we have. Have any of you actually bought this mould? Have you watched our unboxing video? If you haven't watched our unboxing video, why not go check it out? It's in our playlist. There we go. Can you see that? We've just got a little bit of sparkle, a little bit of different colour. Not very green at all. I was hoping it was going to be a bit more green than that, but never mind. So then I went on to this lovely, beautiful, deep black glitter / pigment. And all I'm doing, again, as you can see, is just trying to burnish it on, brushing it onto the mould, exactly the same way as I did with that green twinkle tint. Just trying to give a little bit of definition and shade, like you would do if you were using colouring pencils and colouring it in on a piece of paper. Can you see there? Now, to be honest with you, I don't think I picked the right thing here for the black. So this, in case you hadn't realised, is also from our black and white series. So we're doing black and white or black and white and one other colour. So we're doing the black, we're doing this greeny colour, this pale greeny colour or sea green colour, and white in this project. So yeah, I mean, I think I probably would swap out that particular type of black and maybe use something that is much more of a mica. But there we go, also just doing down the middle section there, trying to create some definition and some shade and shadow like you would if you were drawing it and colouring it in. So also just highlighting the bit there in the nose part of the seahorse and the eye. That just came alive there, didn't it? As soon as I put the colour in the eye, it came alive. Now, on a separate piece of kitchen roll, I've just turned the mole over and I'm giving it a bit of a tappy-wappy so that it gets rid of any loose bits of powder. So you can see a bit more of that greeny colour there on the edge of the fin, but again, still not 100% happy. And I started applying the silvery coloured one there, the tint. I'm not sure that this is actually working, and to be honest with you, I didn't put very much in. So yeah. Here is the white. Now, I've put this on a separate piece of paper on kitchen roll because it tends to just go everywhere. So this is the Arteza mica powder. This is the white. So this is our other colour. So we've done the black with the glitter / mica pigments, and then the white here. Now, brushing this white over this mould makes it look almost like silver. But look, here's a close-up. Looks beautiful, but again, I think we've lost the pale sea green colour. Bit of a shame, but it still looks really good. So here's the second mould. So we've got the white as Arteza. We're going to use the other things now. We're using the blue tint. Now look at the difference in this one compared to the sea green. Now, Garen, yes, I was putting it on a lot thicker. I was a bit more heavy-handed with this, but it just seemed to pick up more than the green one. And again, we're just going in, putting it in where the detailed bits are. Look at that up the top there. Looks gorgeous. And then in and around the tail. Now, of course, you don't have to apply the black-white, you know, like I've done. You can just do it all of this beautiful blue and then put some clear resin in behind it. Or maybe some white resin, coloured resin. And it will look beautiful. As I say, this is just an idea, give you an idea of what you can do or you could do, give you a bit of inspiration to maybe go and buy the mould yourself and also to have a go at making it. Don't forget that if you order anything through BB Craft, we do have a discount code. It's in the description box. It's Lottie10, and that will get you 10% off your total of your order. Their video, I'll get this right in a minute, Laura, goodness sake. Their website is very straightforward, easy to follow, and they've got a whole, smorgasbord. There we go. Let's go for that one. That just means a big dish of lots of different things and varieties of anything to do with crafting. So not just to do with if you use resin like we do, but also if you make jewellery, for example. Loads and loads of stuff on their website. Why not check it out? It's definitely worth a look. And as we said, use our discount code Lottie10. It's available for 12 months, that discount code. So it doesn't run out anytime soon. So there we go. So I'm just using that same black, beautiful like silver black mica powder there. So we've got our blue, we've got our black, and now we're going to apply this beautiful Arteza crystal white powder to the whole thing. Do you see what I mean there about how the blue is just showing up much more than that beautiful sea green colour did? That could be just because I didn't put enough on, or it could be just it's a lot paler than the blue. But look at this. There we go. All brushed in, all tapped out, got rid of the excess, and it looks gorgeous. Stunning. And there we go. Can you see, compare the two? You really can't see the green, but you can definitely see the blue. I loved that black there. And the Arteza are just out on there. Right. So, next up, we need to make up some resin. I have made up some resin. I'm also going to colour it with a little bit of white acrylic paint and some of this acrylic, pigment powder. And as usual, everything that we've used in the video today will be linked in the description box below, along with any discount codes that we have. Can you see? I mean, that white mica powder has just made it look a bit pearlized. So here we go, just filling it up, going very carefully, making sure that we get into all the little places where the resin needs to go. And this has been sped up slightly, but do take your time. I'm using a much smaller silicone mixing jug there to decant and pour in the resin. It's just more control. And as I said, this is not a very deep mould at all. That little jug that I'm using there, silicone jug, takes just over 100 mils of resin. I think it takes about 120. And the resin we're using is our regular Tea Expert resin. It's a 1-to-1 mixing ratio. It's really, we find it, apart from the resin brand called Mold, MOLDD, we found this Tea Expert to be our go-to brand of resin. But that's our opinion. That's what we find. It's easy to use. It's never very, very thick. We found that other brands that we've used recently have been quite thick and don't seem to go as far as the Tea Expert does. As I said, the other one that we would like to use, but we're not currently using, is by Mold. But who knows? We have made things from them in the past. We made a jellyfish. I think Wayne made that one and demonstrated it. And beautiful. Lovely resin to use. Again, it's a little bit on the thick side. Not quite what we're used to using. But if we didn't have access to buying the Tea Expert resin, then we definitely would be purchasing the mould resin. Yeah. So that's the first one. Now, the second one. Just using up what we've got in that little mixing jug that's left. Pouring it into the mould there. Now, this is sitting on a piece of, it's just baking sheet, you know, that you'd use if you were baking, or greaseproof paper, some people call them, and it's sat on a, that's on a wooden round. It's a chopping board slash placemat. And you really have just done that so that I can then pick it up and move it, because I've got various projects on the go currently and I haven't got a lot of workspace to do this. So there we go, we're just filling it up, just topping up the mould there. Just filling it up carefully. Hi to everybody who's joined us in the live chat. Who is taking part and saying hi and everything. Hope you're all doing well. Hello to everybody that's watching and is listening but isn't taking part in the live chat. That's totally up to you. We are there to answer any questions. Can't just drop in, say hi. We're sometimes joined by other artists or, you know, crafters or subscribers. You do need to be a subscriber to join us in the live chat. If you haven't subscribed already, why not? It's free. You'll then hit the notification bell and you'll be informed of every time we upload a video. Usually 3 times a week, Wednesdays, Fridays and Sundays at 5 o'clock UK time. So, do you remember these two? A couple of videos back. Yeah, I made it with some leftover resin, mixed results regarding trying to do blooms. I'm not good at blooms at all, to be honest with you. And I didn't get around to backing them. So we're making up, I've got some leftover resin there that you can't see. It's just slightly off camera there at the bottom. I've just added in some of this lovely black liquid pigment that came in the Skull kit. Again, that's from Jules at Resin Jules and Helena at Resin Detra Supplies. Why not check out their websites and Instagram? All their social media contents, contacts and so on will be in the description box, and you can have a look at the lovely things that you can purchase from them. So just added some of this liquid ink, black, inky black, that is, a real dark inky black pigment into the resin, the clear resin, and just making sure that I'm thoroughly stirring it in. So as long as it's all thoroughly mixed, there we go, look at that. Sublime. So here we go, we're going to just pour it in. I am doing it from a bit of a height so that we can hopefully get a steady stream of resin going in with as minimal bubbles as possible. Look at that. That really is a jet black. Gorgeous. You can even see the reflection of my camera stand there. And the lights. Sorry about that. So we're just going to wait for this resin to find its own level. I'm just making sure I'm scraping around every last little bit of resin there, and perhaps even making up a little bit more to pour into the one, because the one on the left definitely needs some more added to it. There we go. So what colours would you back these with? Would you use a different colour? Would you go for white, silver? Would you stick with a black like we have? Or would you actually demould them and press them down into small bowls to make them into bowls themselves? That's an option that you could do. If you haven't seen me do that, then check out our playlist and you'll be able to see our resin geode bowls. So I did a large bowl in that theme. It was greens and browns, very, very much autumn fall inspired. And then I had leftover resin, so I got 2 of these coasters, did exactly the same thing, and then made them into smaller bowls. So there we go. We've just made up enough more resin now to add in to make sure that this then comes to the very top of the mould. There we are, just getting out every last little bit. We've got a few little bubbles there coming to the surface. What we tend to do to get rid of those is we spritz it. Well, so in our spritz, we give it a little spray of isopropyl alcohol from an atomizer spray we've got, bottle, and it just bursts all of the little surface area bubbles. Now, you can, of course, if you don't want to use that, you can apply a little bit of heat, and you can do that using a heat gun. Use it from high up because you only want the heat and not flame or anything like that. Or you can use a long-necked lighter, but again, you're only using the heat, you're not using the actual flame. Can you see there? Just spritzed it with some isopropyl alcohol. Now, what I did just before it finished curing, I thought, do you know what? I'm gonna pop some glitter in, you know, like you do, and it went like that. So it's a bit like the galaxy, a starry night sky, beautiful sort of thing that you'd see through a telescope. So, you know, this is the following day. I'm just demoulding it. We've got a little bits of stray white resin there, which is a bit unusual. There we go. So that's the first one. And now with the second one. I do like that black. It's just beautiful, deep black, rich black colour. So I've got a little bit of clean up to do there, which it seems to be just coming off in my hands. Or you can use a little small pair of sharp scissors and go around. But look at that. That was my bloom. And there's the other one. So yeah, it sort of worked, sort of didn't work. Now what you could do is go around the edges of those with a silver chrome silver pen and edge the coasters with the pen if you want to, but we actually left these. Now these again you could have as double-sided, so you could have them the black side with the glitter, or you could have them this side with the white, black and glitter type bloom effect that's on it. So I'm just trying to pull off these additional little bits of resin, but they look beautiful. Considering they didn't completely work, they do look beautiful. Now, here are the seahorses. I did leave these a full 24 hours. And they're still a little bit soft, but we're going to go ahead and demould them. So here's the first one. It's coming away from the mould really easily. Really easily. There we are. Remember, take the mould away from your project. Don't try and pull your project out of the mould, because it will bend and possibly damage itself. So look at that. We got a little bit of overspill there that we need to deal with. But that's the first one. See it come out of the mould really, really cleanly. Really cleanly. Just brushing it off a little bit, checking for any overpour. Doesn't seem to be a lot of overpour, which is good. Now, oh wow, look at that. Now this was the green one. So as you can see, it's basically, unfortunately, it's disappeared. You can see where I've put it a tiny bit, but it's just not, it's not giving the kind of impact that I'd wanted it to give. But I do love all the details. I love it. It looks almost like a suit of armour on it, where it's got so sort of silvery shine and sheen to it. Beautiful. Now let's have a look at this one. This one was the blue one, if you remember. So just again, pull the mould away from your resin piece, not your resin out of the mould. Go. Almost out. Just going around the tail carefully. I can't see any overpour, but look at this. See how the blue, there's a lot more contrast to it, a lot more. Looks almost mechanical, a bit sort of steampunky perhaps. But this is lovely. There is a little bit of overpour to tidy up, but apart from that, that's beautiful. Now you could just leave these like that, or you could add some embellishments to it. And because I wasn't overly happy with the first one, I decided I was going to add some embellishments to that. So warning, I am going to use a UV light. So if you're sensitive to UV lights, be warned, I will be using it. Now, we've gone back to this green, pale sea foamy green colour. Twinkle Tint, and all I'm going to do is try and mix it with some UV resin in this lovely little heart-shaped silicone pot. There we are, that's the UV resin we use, J. Diction. So I'm just going to squeeze some in. If I've remembered to take the lid off this time. Oh, I have this time. That's my usual thing, forget to take the lid off. Just squeezing it in there. I think J. Diction UV resin is the only brand you've ever used, so I can't comment on other brands. I can just tell you that this one is particularly good. And there we are, carefully undoing this container full of this beautiful sea greeny blue colour. Going to add a little bit in with the coffee stir stick, and maybe a little bit more. Look at the way that's dissolving into the resin. It resembles, you know, the magic glitter that I've talked about in previous videos. Like that. So we're going to mix it in. And can you see how much deeper in colour that is? Now, guaranteed, yes, there's a lot more resin, a lot more colour in it than resin. And yeah, I get it, I understand it, but that's the colour I'd wanted. So had we have had that, managed to achieve that first go round with the mould, brushing it onto the mould, then I wouldn't be doing this next step. But we're going to do it because I wasn't happy with it. And it needs a little something, you know, just a little something, just to bring it up a little bit. So here's the UV light that I'm going to use. So warning, I am going to use it. If you're sensitive to UV light, then maybe just skip through this bit. So using the same coffee stir stick, I've just popped it into the resin, got some out, and I'm just carefully putting it on the edges of the fin of, or is it a wing or a fin on a seahorse? There you are. I'm just putting it there and then drawing the colour down. And a bit more there. There we go. So just carefully doing it. You can do it a little bit at a time and then cure it, and then you can do a bit more if you want to build it up a bit more and then cure it. I mean, you can use these lovely little handheld UV torch lights, are great, but we do also have a bigger UV lamp, and we did put them under the UV lamp in the end, or this one under the UV lamp, just to completely set it, to hard set it. So there we are, just going down the bottom part of that fin. We are. So as you can see, I am wearing gloves. I mean, I always wear gloves, but you know, like we always say in our videos, make sure that you are taking the proper precautions for when using resin. So that's wear your gloves, work in a well ventilated area, make sure that your arms are all covered, that you're wearing an apron or you've got older clothing on, and that you're wearing a respirator mask. There we go. Yes, do make sure that before you use any resin, you've read everything on the bottle. So you know how to use it, you know the mixing ratios, you know the precautions you should take, the right PEP and so on. So there we go. We're now going to look at applying some of this beautiful pale green, like sea green colour mix of resin. Just going to give it a bit of detail around its head there. And all I'm using is the end of a coffee stir stick. Now you can use whatever tool you are comfortable to use, you feel comfortable using doing this. But there we go. I'm just literally adding it in a little bit at a time and then using the torch to cure it, or popping it under the UV lamp. There we go. Can you see, do you see what I mean? It's just giving it that little extra something. I'm just putting a little bit in the nose part and the mouth part of the seahorse. There we go. I do love seahorses. They're just Fascinating creatures. Absolutely fascinating to me. What I particularly like about it is the fact that the male seahorse is the one that carries the babies and looks after them. So there we go. We've got a bit of feminine equality going on. There. So there we go. So as I said, this is part of our black and white series. So we're doing black and white or black and white and one other colour. I think this is our 3rd video. It might be 4th by the time this one goes out. So going out before this one, I've got a jellyfish that I've done. Obviously, we've got the unboxing has interrupted us with this, the unboxing for BB Craft. You'll also have seen an unboxing for, or will be seeing if you haven't already, an unboxing of the Celestial Moon Kit from Jules at Resin Jules and Helena at Resin Detra Supplies. Do go over and check out their channel. It's Instagram that they mainly work off of, and their websites. They sell some absolutely beautifully stunning kits and also some gorgeous glitters, mica powders, tints, liquid pigments and pastes, moulds. They also do, which is so much fun, and we took part in recently, something called scoops. SCOOPS, scoops. I think they usually happen about once a month. I might be wrong there. They've just done one, and it's done live. It's on Instagram, and you can do pre-order. You can order your scoop. I think there's about 3 different sizes. I don't know if it's small, medium, large, and monster. So that'd be 4 sizes, or medium, large, and monster. We ordered a monster scoop, and oh my God, they do your scoop live for you. You can also purchase it live as well. And it was so much fun. It went on for hours and hours. It was a great way for us. And if you're a crafter, it's a great way to spend a Friday evening. It happened to be on a Friday this time around. Watching everybody having fun, and they dressed up. They looked stunning in their Halloween outfits. And there was a lot of fun. We had to spin the wheel. So for everybody that had ordered a monster scoop, you then got a free spin of the wheel, and you got a free gift or a kit or a mould or a potion, which is a glitter potion that Jules makes up there and then for you. I mean, it was so much fun, so much fun. So really looking forward to that coming through. When it comes through, we may film it, the unboxing of it, to show you. We may not, but there's a lot coming. So look at this. So I've applied the UV resin and this beautiful pale green, greenish blue tint to just some of the detail, and I'm going to pop that under the UV light for 3 lots of 60 minutes just to make sure it hardens off nicely. So there's the 2 combined. Now I decided not to do the same thing with the one on the right, which is the blue and the silver, because it doesn't need it. But I want to do a bit more detail. They're both needed. Just that little something extra, just to bring them up a bit, so that, you know, not only were they stunning, they were just top level beautiful. Now, what would you do? What would you decorate this with? If you were going to decorate it with a bit more, would you use tiny seed pearls? Would you use gemstone chips? Would you use what I'm using here? Now, these are predominantly used in jewellery making. These came from Temu, not BB Craft, and they're lovely. They're little half circular beads or dots and we've got them in silver and gold, and they're giving it a bit more of a steampunk sort of look, perhaps. But I decided to go with those at the top there, and then I've put in some more detail as well on the rest of the body. So at this point, I'm just using a pair of tweezers just to place these where I think they would look best. Now, of course, as I've said, you don't have to do this bit. This is just what I decided to do. I do rather like the steampunk effect, Not on everything, but on certain things. And I think the reason why I was sort of erring towards that with this is just literally because of the colours I've used and the fact that it does look like pieces of armour. All the parts going down from the neck down onto the main body of the seahorse does look like pieces of armour. Yeah. Metallic powders would look lovely if you dusted metallic powders in this mould. I'm having a real problem trying to pick that one up. There we are. So we've got silver metallic, we've got bronze, we've got copper, and we've got gold. So we may actually, for Christmas, do some in that, go those colours for Christmas. Wow. We'd make a gorgeous as part of it. Oh, that's just pinged off somewhere. Gorgeous as a centerpiece on a table as part of your Christmas decorations. Perhaps put it up on the mantelpiece. You could, if you want to stand it upright but you don't want to glue it into a frame, you can always get one of these little mini easels. Have you seen those, the little mini wooden easels? They usually come with tiny little canvases on them, but you could take the canvas off of it and put this on it instead. You could also, if you are have the ability to do this, you could get a small block of wood, just a small block, and you could chisel out a tiny bit in the centre and then sand it all, wax it, oil it, wax it, make it, or stain it or paint it, and then you could actually glue the base of the tail on the seahorse into where you've sort of dug out that little area in the piece of wood, and then secure it there, and then that would look stunning. You'd actually have it like, it would almost be like perhaps a seahorse on a piece of driftwood. Look at me getting all creative with my ideas. So there we go. We're just adding a bit more. All we've done is we've used UV resin like it's glue. So decided where we're going to put things, applied a bit of the UV resin like we've done now. Go. And then using the tweezers, pecking them up. Whoops, and dropping them. Picking them up. Try again, Laura. Picking them up. And then placing them on top of the UV resin there. Next one. And then the next one. And then when I'm happy, I'll cure it using the UV lamp or the UV torch. There we are. There we go. So just to set it into place, using the UV torch there, and then I will actually just pop it under the main lamp that we've got for a couple of minutes just to completely firm up. So there we are. That's the head part done. If you're still with us, thank you for sticking with us. We appreciate that this is 33 minutes in length, this video, but we really do appreciate it, and we want to show you all of the final steps and everything. So this is the blue one. I did also put some lovely little silver embellishments on him too, and then this was the sea foamy green coloured one. Look at that. I think they're stunning. Thanks again for joining us. Hi to everybody again in the live chat. Hello to everybody who's watching. Don't forget to give us a like, share and subscribe. And we will see you again in a couple of days or so with another video. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.